Okay, so welcome to another deep dive. And this one is really, really interesting.
Yeah, this one's cool.
Yeah, you guys sent us some sources about, well, they're all centered around this new business that's popped up in Bettendorf, Iowa. And it's called Iconic Coffee Plus Energy. But that's not really even the interesting part.
Right.
The interesting part is that it's in an old Jiffy Lube.
Yeah. So, you're driving along and you think, oh, I need an oil change. And then
But wait, no, you don't.
it's coffee.
It's coffee, yeah. And it looks like, from what we've got here, it appears to be the first of its kind in the entire U.S.
That's what the sources say. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few articles here from KWQC, which is a local news station. We got something from B100 Radio, and then an article from Coffee Talk Magazine, which is more of an industry thing.
Right. Like a trade publication.
Yeah, and then, of course, we went and looked at their website, which is always
Yeah.
interesting, and even pulled a job description just to see, what kind of place is this? How do they see themselves?
What they're all about.
Exactly. So our goal is to figure out, what's the story here? How did this even happen? And is this a brilliant idea or just kind of a novelty?
And could it maybe even catch on somewhere else, or is it totally unique to this spot?
Exactly. So to start off, this whole thing comes from the mind of this guy, Aiden Singh, who it turns out is from Bettendorf.
Oh, so a local boy done good kind of story.
Yeah, it seems like it. And what really struck me is that he was able to see something that most people wouldn't.
You mean like most people would just drive by an abandoned Jiffy Lube and just think, oh, what a shame.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. Like it'd just be another empty building, but he saw potential.
It's just it had been empty for like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years. This thing was just sitting there. And he even says it perfectly in one of the articles. He's like, an oil change shop is always going to be an oil change shop.
Yeah.
I think I had a different vision for that.
I love that. I mean, it really gets to the heart of what makes a tree entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right? Like, they don't just see what is, they see what could be.
Totally. And it's not like he was coming in totally green either. He already had started a coffee shop in Des Moines.
Oh, so he's not new to the whole coffee game.
Nope. And I think that's what makes this even more interesting because it's not like, oh, I have this crazy idea, let's try it. It's like, no, I've been in this world, I see what works, and I think I can do something even better, even more innovative.
So why not just do another coffee shop? Like, why go through the hassle of converting a whole Jiffy Lube?
Well, the sources actually hint at a few different reasons. One of the big ones seems to be location, location, location.
Golden rule of real estate.
It's right across from the Bettendorf Learning Campus, which means there are tons of students walking by all the time.
Especially on Wednesdays, it says when they get out early.
Right, exactly. So he's thinking, okay, that's a built-in customer base right there. But then on top of that, it's on a pretty busy street, something like 14,000 cars passing by every day.
Wow, that's a lot of potential customers just driving right past your door.
So he's got all these people on foot, all these people in cars, and he's thinking, okay, how do I make it as easy as possible for them to get their coffee and get on with their day?
Enter the fully enclosed double drive-through experience.
Yeah, so this is where things get really interesting because it's not just a drive-through like we're used to. It's literally driving through the building.
Like you pull your car inside.
Yeah, you drive right in like it's your own garage.
Which is kind of cool, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, and his tagline is, why drive through when you can drive through?
I mean, you got to give them points for catchiness, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm trying to imagine, like, what's it going to be like to pull up to this place for the first time? Because you see the sign, you see the building, but you don't really process that you're about to drive inside.
Right. I feel like people are going to be like, wait, what am I supposed to do here? And then they realize, oh, I just drive right in.
Like, what if it's your first time and you're behind someone who's been there before?
Oh, yeah. You'd probably be like, whoa, hold on. Where are they going?
Yeah, and the sources all make a point of saying this is the nation's first fully enclosed double drive-through coffee and energy bar.
Yeah, it seems like there are drive-through coffee places, but not like this.
Not where you're completely inside the building.
I wonder if part of the reason for that is the weather, because, Iowa winters can be brutal.
Oh, absolutely. So being able to just drive inside and stay warm while you're waiting for your coffee, that's a huge plus.
Especially if you're like me and you hate scraping ice off your windshield in the morning.
Yeah, no one likes that. And it even mentions that the drive-through is heated, so it's not like you're driving into a cold garage.
Okay, so it's comfortable for the customers. But what about the people working there? I mean, do you think it's better or worse to be a barista in an enclosed drive-through?
It's a good question, and honestly, I don't know, but it's got to be a different experience at least,
Yeah, for sure. And think about the noise.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're outside with cars constantly going by, that's got to be pretty loud. But inside is probably a lot quieter.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they even had to do something special with the acoustics because you've got cars coming in and out all day.
That's true. I mean, I'm no sound engineer, but it seems like it could get pretty echoey in there.
Yeah, and then there's the whole safety aspect. You've got cars driving inside a building that's not exactly the norm.
Yeah. How do they make sure that's not a total disaster waiting to happen?
Right, like what about ventilation with the car exhaust and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't want people breathing in fumes all day.
And what about, like, if there's a fire or something, can people get out quickly enough?
Uh-oh. Okay, now I'm kind of worried.
No, no, it's okay because it sounds like they've thought of all that.
Okay, good.
So first of all, the garage doors are open during business hours, which obviously helps with ventilation.
Right, so it's not like a sealed box.
Exactly. And then they also installed a full exhaust system with a fan to pull the air out, and there's a vent on the roof too.
Oh, okay, so they're actively getting rid of the exhaust fumes.
Yeah, and I bet that exhaust system is pretty heavy duty too, not just like a little bathroom fan or something.
Right. It's got to be able to handle a lot of cars coming and going.
And then for safety, they've got fire suppression systems and emergency exits and all that stuff.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be like a top priority when you're designing a space like this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then there's the whole issue of traffic, because if you've got cars lining up to drive inside, you don't want them backing up onto the street.
Especially at a busy street like that. It could cause a real mess.
Right, so they actually expanded the parking lot to make sure there's enough room for everyone to wait.
How much bigger do they make it?
Like 3,000 to 6,000 square feet of extra concrete.
Oh, that's a lot of parking.
Yeah, they can fit over 22 cars now, so that should definitely help keep things moving smoothly.
Okay, so they've got the space, the safety, the traffic flow all figured out. Now, let's talk about the coffee.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's still a coffee shop.
Yeah, people aren't going to drive through a building just for the novelty. They want good coffee.
And they've got more than just coffee, too. Remember, it's iconic coffee plus energy.
Oh, right. So what else do they have?
Well, they've got all kinds of infused energy drinks, smoothies, teas, chase, all made fresh.
So they're really leaning into that whole energy boost thing.
Yeah, and they even have sugar-free and gluten-free options, which is smart because it means they're catering to a wider range of people.
Yeah, people are a lot more health conscious these days, so it makes sense to offer those choices.
And they've got grab-and-go snacks, too, which is perfect for people who are on the run.
Speaking of on the run, do they have any indoor seating, or is it all drive-through?
No, indoor seating, the whole space is basically dedicated to the drive-through lanes.
Which makes sense. I mean, if their whole concept is about getting people in and out quickly, why waste space on seating?
Right, it's all about efficiency, but they do have a walk-up window, too.
Oh, that's a good idea for people who are just walking by or maybe coming from the high school across the street.
Exactly, so they're not excluding those customers.
And the articles give us some pretty specific details about the size of the space, too. It's like 1,440 square feet on the main level.
Yeah, and a full basement for storage.
Plus a dedicated production space on the ground floor that's like 380 square feet.
They even mentioned that the floors are radiant heated, which is kind of a cool detail.
And that probably saves them a ton on heating costs, too, especially in the winter.
Yeah, and they increased the parking capacity to 17 cars in the lot and drive-through lanes.
Okay, so they've clearly thought this through from every angle.
It seems that way. Yeah, and it's not just about the logistics either. They're really trying to create a specific kind of customer experience.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, their core values are fantastic, friendly, and fast.
Okay, so that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and their mission statement is to make someone's day, not just their drink.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's like they're not just trying to sell you coffee, they're trying to make you feel good.
It's about more than just the transaction. It's about the interaction.
Exactly, and they even mention things like remembering regulars' orders, offering encouragement, little things like that.
And maybe even throwing in a freebie every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. Little
Yeah.
gestures that make people feel valued.
It's a good strategy because in a world where everyone's in a hurry, it's nice to go somewhere where people actually take the time to acknowledge you.
Yeah, and you can even see that customer-focused approach in their job descriptions.
Oh, yeah. What do they say?
Well, the one we looked at was for a shift lead, and it talks about creating a fun atmosphere, being a team player, training new baristas, not just on how to make the drinks, but on the company culture.
Wow, so they're really investing in their employees, too.
Yeah, and it mentions being empowered to solve problems, so it's not like you have to go through a bunch of red tape to help a customer.
That's great because it means the employees can actually use their judgment and make people happy.
Exactly. So it seems like they're building a team that's really aligned with their mission and values.
And it sounds like they're providing some much-needed jobs for young people, too. They're planning to hire up to 25 employees, mostly high school and college students.
Yeah, and Singh even says he wants to work in the shop alongside his employees.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
It shows he's not just some absentee owner. He's really invested in the day-to-day operations.
Yeah, and he chose to launch his business in his hometown, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it shows he cares about the community.
And they open in the first 2 weeks of March, it looks like.
Right. The article for March 11th says they're fully operational.
Yeah, so it's all happening right now, and their hours are Monday to Saturday, 5 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
So they're covering pretty much the whole day.
Yeah, and they're getting a great response from the community so far.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, the city of Bettendorf is happy that they repurposed the vacant building, and people seem to be really excited about this new concept.
Did they say anything about how they're handling the oil situation? I mean, it was an oil change place, so I'm curious if they had to do anything special to make sure there's no contamination.
Actually, yeah, one of the articles mentions they installed an insane water filtration system and top-of-the-line plumbing to address any potential leaks from customer vehicles.
Wow, that's attention to detail.
Right, so they're not just ignoring the elephant in the room, they're actively addressing it.
That's really reassuring to hear.
And it sounds like they have some cool plans for the future, too. They're thinking about designating one lane for ordering and the other for mobile pickup.
Well, that's smart. It would keep things moving even faster.
Exactly. So they're constantly thinking about how to improve the customer experience.
So all in all, it seems like Aiden Singh has really hit on something special here.
Yeah, I think so too. It's not just a coffee shop. It's a complete reimagining of what a drive-thru can be.
And it proves that even the most mundane spaces can be transformed into something extraordinary.
Exactly. So next time you drive by an empty building, don't just dismiss it. Think about what it could be.
Yeah, what hidden potential is lurking beneath the surface, waiting for someone with a vision to unlock it?
Maybe it's the next iconic coffee plus energy, or maybe it's something completely different. The possibilities are endless.
And that's what makes this whole story so inspiring. It shows that with a little creativity and a lot of hard work, anything is possible.
Exactly. So go out there and find your own Jiffy Lube waiting to be transformed.
Or maybe it's a laundromat or a gas station, who knows?
The point is to keep your eyes open and your mind open to the possibilities, because you never know what amazing thing you might create.
And that's what makes life so exciting, right? The unknown, the potential for something new and unexpected.
So go out there and explore and see what you discover.
Happy